Hi. I hope that you are as excited as I am tonight about this live read. Whoop, whoop. Little Lou, how are you? I just love calling you that. I need some organization on my desk over here. Dadgummit. Okay, I'll give somebody $5 if they'll come scratch my belly. I'm serious. It is getting on my nerves. On my ever-loving last nerve. Dadnabbit. Y'all, I am... Ori, what are you doing on here? Hola, Mari. How are you, darling? Needs to go back to the kitchen. Buenas noches, te amo. Ooh, I'm itching. Okay, that can go one to hell. So, Ori, what am I going to do with your Ori? Yeah. $5, and I'll let you scratch my belly. I might even let you use this because I'm ready to. So, I love you too, Mari, darling. Keep it real, baby girl. Keep it real. Nina gotta explain that one. Pate? Or party at Mynae's? Oh. Girls, it might be just only us tonight. It's fine. We're good. The author told me she had something going on, so I think that was her. No, it was her. Wasn't sure if she's going to be here or not. Where's Nicole from? Ooh, I think Nicole's... I want to say Nicole's from the West Coast. And... Even with stupid people. Oh my gosh. She cracks me up. So, tonight's book is called Decadent Dreams by one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite indie authors that I discovered early on, Nicole Garcia. And the scary thing about this for me is she introduced me to two wonderful people. And they actually live here in Chattanooga somewhere. I just ain't found them yet. I ain't gonna look at though either. So, but they do all of her audiobooks. They are awesome. Cot and Wynn Ross. They have a little toddler girl, recently married. They've been together for years, from what I understand. So, it's pretty awesome that they do all of her books. And if you guys ever get a chance to listen to any of Nicole's books and you hear these two, they don't... A lot of audio books, when there's a male and a female reader, the female will read how a lot of authors do point of views. Well, they don't. She does all the girl parts, he does all the boy parts, and they interact as they go. They don't wait for one chapter where it's all her part and she's doing all the reading, and then Wynn comes over here and does all his part when the male's on, from the male's point of view. No. So they've already done this book. So, but I just came across it today, and I wanted to introduce you guys to Nicole. She's got a handful of books out. She's just awesome. And Nina, you might like this. She's also Puerto Rican. Wonderful girl. She has her own group. And of course, I can't remember what it is now, but Nicole Garcia is her name. And this is the cover. Oh, yeah, she's a redhead, y'all. Okay, I've already read this book, already listened to this book. It is so good. I just love it. Okay, so here we go so that I don't get all mixed up. So, Nina, you're going to love this one, girl. Get your hot flash kit out. Nico, I'm falling, plummeting faster and faster, careening through the air with nothing to stop me from crashing to the ground to a certain death. With my heart racing, I flail my arms all around me, hoping, praying that I can grab onto something, anything to stop my rapid descent. There's nothing but open sky. Endless clouds block my view, so I have no way of knowing how long I have left to live before my body splatters all over the pavement. I squeeze my eyes tighter, willing myself to wake up from this nightmare, praying that this night will be the last time I'll have to endure this horror. Except that it never ends. Every night has been the same for the last 3 years. Sorry, I left my speaker on today. It was flashing. I have no reason to believe that tomorrow will be any different. Even though I know I'm dreaming, it doesn't suppress the terrifying feeling I have every time I close my eyes to sleep. I follow through the clouds and I can finally see the skyscrapers that line the city streets. What a sight it's going to be for the hundreds of people walking along the sidewalk when I hit the concrete and my brain explodes into a million pieces. I'm sure it will be something they will never forget for as long as they live. All I can do now is lay here, wishing for the nightmare to end, and soon. Seconds before I hit the ground, I jolt awake. I'm sweating and out of breath. The muscles in my chest constrict with every single intake of breath. It's hard to breathe, and yet I'm relieved it's over. That is, until tonight when I have to relive the whole ordeal again. I pull my sweat-soaked t-shirt over my head and fling it across the room to land on the armchair near the window. I run my fingers through my damp hair before forcing my exhausted body out of bed. My feet shuffle against the hardwood floor of my room and then across the linoleum floor of the bathroom. I turn on the shower and check the temperature before stepping inside. The water is cold. That's exactly how I like it after waking up from a long night of agonizing dreams. I put my head under the cool water, allowing it to run down my back. I need to feel rejuvenated before I leave for the office. I'm the president of a multi-billion-dollar real estate company, and I always need to be on my A game. My staff depends on me as well as my clients. There is so much competition, and I take pride in being the best agency in the market. My company caters to the rich and famous, from basketball stars to actors to the self-made multimillionaire. Every now and then, my clients need to step out of the limelight and want to buy a vacation home away from the cameras and prying eyes. This is where I step in. There is nothing I won't do to give my clients the privacy they need and so desperately deserve. I turn the faucet and shut the water off. I step out of the shower, satisfied that I'm awake enough to start my day. I grab the towel hanging on the door to dry myself off. I walk into the bedroom despite the droplets of water falling off of me, making tiny puddles on the floor with each step I take. I grab a suit out of the closet, get dressed, and quickly brush my hair before leaving. After the night I had and a 45-minute drive to work and bumper-to-bumper traffic when I got to the city, I'm already exhausted and the day hasn't even begun yet. If I were a completely different person, I would have taken the day off. I'm a total workaholic by necessity. I'm a total workaholic. I'm one of the first people at the office in the morning and one of the last to go home at the end of the day. There, that looks better. I'm a workaholic by necessity. I'm not a workaholic by choice. My father worked his ass off to make this company what it is today, and I will do everything I can to keep on top. When I step off the elevator, I'm greeted by my business partner and best friend of 30 years. Giovanni has been there for me through good times and bad. He has always been my constant support and the main reason I haven't gone completely insane yet. I pull the keys out of my pocket and unlock my office door. He follows me in, shutting the door behind him. Bro, you look terrible. Yeah, thanks for the news flash. Do you have any other words of wisdom this morning? My deep voice fills the room. Even I can tell I'm being a prick. I don't care. I'm too fucking tired to care about anything right now. Oh, and you're in a great mood today too, I see. Go fuck yourself. I open the side drawer of my desk and throw my keys in before slamming it shut. And what a colorful vocabulary you have this morning. I'm really not in the mood today, Gio. I'm tired. I didn't get any sleep, and I am up to my ears in paperwork from the Ciola Beach property. Dude, chillax. No, I will not chillax. Who the fuck even says that? What are we, 16? You're fucking 42 years old. Grow the fuck up. Serious, bro. You need to calm down. You're going to have a heart attack. I was only trying to lighten the mood. Relax and take a deep breath before that vein on the side of your head decides to pop out of your skull. I lean back in my plush leather chair, letting out a long, ragged breath. I drag my hands over my face and try to rub my bad attitude away. I'm sorry, man. I am at the end of a very short rope. I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Tough night, huh? Tough? No, I can handle tough. More like excruciatingly painful. Nightmares again? I'm not in agreement. Maybe it's time to go back to therapy. It helped for a while, right? Yeah, it did. And I went to a few sessions last year. It wasn't keeping my nightmares away. So what's the point? The point is you need to talk about what's going on before you wind up in the nut house. I slam my hands on the desk and the sound echoes throughout the room. How many fucking times can I say the same shit over and over again? I'm done talking about my feelings like a little bitch. It hasn't helped me before, and it's not going to help me now. Gio holds his hands up in front of him. Okay. At least let me help you with the paperwork until your new assistant gets here. I shuffle through the papers sitting on my desk and pull out a file. I hand it over to him. Okay, fine. But I'm going to look over it when you're finished. He takes the file from my hand. I don't doubt you will. He turns away from me heading towards the door. I stop him before he walks out. Wait a minute. Come back here. He curses under his breath before facing me. Shit. I was so close to freedom. What do you mean when my new assistant gets here? You know, your new assistant. He smiles and bats his eyelashes, trying to make light of the situation. He knows damn well I don't want to need any help with anything. I'd much rather do everything myself and get the job done right the first time. I get up from my chair, round the desk, and sit on the edge. No, Giovanni, please enlighten me. I fold my arms over my chest, waiting for his explanation. Well, Wendy and I got to talking about how tired and overworked you are, and so I held some interviews last week and hired you an assistant. So, let me get this straight. You and my secretary took it upon yourselves to not only discuss my personal life, but you also hired someone without me okaying it first? I really don't need your okay or your stamp of approval. I am a partner in this company, and like it or not, my opinion matters just as much as yours. And if your work is affected by your personal problems, I have every right to step in. And I say you need an assistant to help you out with the small minor things. You can't do everything yourself. I push off the desk and point in his direction. Number one, my personal life has never interfered with my work. And number two, you had no right to hire someone for me without asking me first. Before I have a chance to say anything else, a soft knock on the door interrupts me. I snap my head in the direction that annoyance came from and yell, "What?" The sight that meets my eyes takes me completely by surprise. A very tiny young woman who looks no older than 20 stands in the doorway. She flinches at the loud tone of my voice before speaking softly. "I'm sorry, I'm a little early. Am I interrupting anything? I can come back in a few minutes." She is about to turn around and leave when Gio takes her by the elbow and pulls her back into the office. "Nonsense. I'm sure Mr. Valenti appreciates you being here on time. Nico, this is your new assistant, Miss Phoenix McKay." Alrighty, my phone just shut off for some reason. Like, shut off and started back up by itself. I am fuming. If looks could kill, Gio would be dead right now. Not only is the woman he hired too young for the job, she's also beautiful, gorgeous actually. She'll have all the men in the office distracted by her good looks. And nothing would get done around here. This fact is irritating me even more. Knowing other men will be looking at her like I am now is infuriating me for a reason I can't pinpoint. I grab Gio by the arm and yank him out into the hallway and away from Phoenix. "Are you fucking kidding me?" I say in a hushed tone so she doesn't hear me. Gio looks at me with a confused expression on his face. "What's the matter?" "What's the matter? The girl is a child. She looks like she's barely out of high school, let alone college. Does she even have any experience?" "Dude, chillax. If you fucking tell me to chillax one more time, I'm going to knock you the fuck out." He laughs. You wouldn't. Try me. "Look, before you get your panties in a bunch, I wouldn't hire just anyone, and she is not right out of high school. She is a college graduate, top of her class, and she has a master's degree in business management." "Well, that's great if you were looking for interns. Shit, Gio, we need someone with experience and who can take on the sharks of this business. Did you see her? She is all of 5 foot nothing and can't weigh more than 110 pounds. Who in their right mind is going to take her seriously?" "Are you saying a beautiful woman can't be taken seriously at her place of employment? Please tell me that you're not saying that." "I'm not. But what I'm saying is she'll have us looking like laughing stocks to our competition. Did you hear her voice? She's so mousy. We need someone fierce and unforgiving. A man." Gio holds his hand up to my face. "Stop. Just stop. Do you hear yourself right now? She is more than qualified. I wouldn't have hired her otherwise. Her mother was an agent, and she's been around the real estate business practically her whole life. She graduated top of her class and knows the business well. She worked for Regency Properties and was manager at Samford and Company. I think that's pretty impressive resume for her age, don't you think? She's driven, and we need employees like her. I have referenced her and done all the research, so stop worrying already. Look, at least give her a try. Give her a chance to show you what she can do. Then, if you still don't like her, you can fire her." He nods in her direction as the men on the floor gravitate toward her. "See, everyone else likes her." I turn my head and glance behind him. Anger quickly boils up inside me because they're drooling all over my new assistant. Mine! A primal need to claim her and make her mine rises to the surface. I've never felt this way in my fucking life. Not even when I first dated my wife. All I know is that I want her bad, and those men are so close to being fired just for looking in her direction. Fuck, if I'm going to let Gio know what I'm really thinking, That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, she's beautiful. So what? I'm beginning to think that's the only reason why you hired her. She is easy on the eyes, isn't she? Come on. You have to admit she'd be better to look at than some overexperienced granny or some fresh out of college smartass guy that you're going to butt heads with constantly. I do my best not to show my best friend the turmoil that's going on in my head right now. I fucking give up. She has 2 weeks to show me what she has, and if I don't like what I see, she's gone. Not like what I see. Yeah, keep trying to convince yourself of that, Nico. Fine. What do you guys think so far? Chapter 2. Phoenix. What do I need to put there? That won't work. This will work. For some reason, my tablet won't stand up tonight. Okay. Phoenix. I try to peer over the shoulders of the men that are crowding around me. My new boss looked and sounded pretty angry when he and Giovanni left the room. They are now having a heated discussion, only I can't hear a word they're saying to each other. I contemplate for half a second to leave and never look back. Like hell, I'm not going anywhere. I've never been a quitter, and I'm not going to start now. Obviously, something was bothering Mr. Valentini. I know it sure as hell wasn't me. I just got here, and on time, no less. My head is spinning with all the questions that are being asked by these strange men. I don't want to be rude on my first day on the job, so I answer as many as I can. I get this kind of attention a lot, even from women, oddly enough. Everyone thinks I'm so cute because I'm short and have red hair and freckles. No one ever takes me seriously, and that's okay because everyone finds out sooner or later how much of a ruthless businesswoman I can be. Although I love meeting new people and I'm very outgoing, right now all these men around me are too much too soon. I've had enough and excuse myself before I hear someone clearing their throat behind me. I turn quickly to face the man and am met with a nose full of rock-hard abs. Abs that I would kill to run my hands over. Ooh, and he smells so good. I'd sell my soul to the devil if I could stand here like this for just one more second. Realizing I still have an audience, I quickly back away from the enormous man in front of me and apologize. I'm sorry, Mr. Valentini. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't even acknowledge me or look in my direction. His cold stares fixated on the other men as he steps in front of me. They all back away without uttering a word and go back to their own desk. He waits until they are all seated and walks around me into his office. I'm speechless and confused as to what just transpired between the boss and his employees. One glare in their direction, and they all scattered like bugs, running away from the man who was going to crush them with his giant shoe. A full minute passes before I'm pulled out of my own thoughts by a deep voice, a voice that vibrates right through me. Well, this thing's gonna make me become an alcoholic. Are you coming in here, or do you need a personal invitation? I turn around and step into the office. He's leaning against the desk with his ankles crossed and his arms folded over his chest. My God, his chest. I didn't think they made suits that big. And how do his huge, muscled arms fit in the sleeves? A smile creeps across my lips as I envision him as the Incredible Hulk, ripping the clothes off his body in a fit of rage. Yes, that would definitely be hot. Again, he speaks and interrupts my ultimate fantasy with the commanding tone of his. Miss McKay, did you hear what I said? I look into his eyes and our gazes lock. His dark eyes are mesmerizing, captivating, and now demanding every bit of my attention. For a fraction of a second, I could have sworn he smiled. Was he aware that I was undressing him with my eyes and thinking about doing completely inappropriate things to him? He clears his throat to get me focused again. I ask if you heard what I said. I shake my head no because my throat is dry. I can't speak. I can barely concentrate on breathing while he's looking at me like that. I have never experienced this kind of need before. I am never this stupefied and anxious around men, especially not in the workplace. It's all about business. It's always about business. Until now, all I want is pleasure. A pool of liquid heat forms between my thighs, soaking my panties at the mere thought of him being inside me. And his hands. God, his hands are so big. There is something about a man's hands that turn me on, and his long, thick, calloused fingers look like they could definitely do some amazing things to my body. He doesn't have hands like a man who sits at his desk typing all day would have. They're rough and have little tiny cuts in them. He's rugged underneath that fancy, expensive suit, and I am dying to find out what he does in his spare time to have hands like that. He clears his throat for a third time, only louder and longer. Look, I don't have time to train daydreaming girls. I think you should leave. This isn't the job for you. He walks around the desk and sits his smug ass in his fancy Italian leather chair, combing through the pile of papers on his desk. I finally clear the fog from my brain and am beyond annoyed by his statement. Who the fuck does he think he is? Excuse me? He peers at me over the file he's now holding in front of his face. You're excused. You can tell Wendy to write you a check for the day since your time was wasted here this morning. I'm fuming. He rises up my chest and spreads to my face. I am pissed the fuck off, and if he wasn't 3 times as big as I am, I would so kick the ever-loving shit out of him right now. I storm over to him, grab the file out of his hand, and slam it on the desk. Let me make something very clear to you, Mr. Boss Man. I am no girl. I am a woman, a very capable woman. I probably know this business better than all those small-minded men you have working out there. I probably know more about business management than you do. He sits back in his chair, placing his elbows on the arms of it and laces his fingers together. He says nothing as I continue to scream at him. By now, I'm sure I can be heard by everyone in the office, even with the door closed. I don't give a shit. And I don't need to be trained to do anything. In fact, I think you're the one who needs to be trained in a little something called manners. I don't know who the hell you think you are. Just because you're the boss doesn't give you the right to undermine everyone who works for you, and I sure as hell won't stand for that. I deserve every bit of respect as you do, and if you're not going to give me that, there's no reason to get rid of me because I quit. I turn on my heels and almost reach the door before he calls me back. Phoenix. Just the sound of his voice saying my name is enough to stop me in my tracks. As mad as I am right now, his deep voice reverberates right through me, and I involuntarily clench my thighs together. I take in a deep breath before turning around to face him. I want to mold my body into him. Fuck if I'm going to tell him that and let him think he intimidates me. What? Come back here. I cross my arms over my chest defiantly and stand my ground. Why? So you can order us some breakfast. I'm starving and we have a lot of work to do. I unfold my arms and allow them to drop to my sides. But you said, very eloquent, little woman. Now let's get to work. I stomp over to the armchair in front of his desk and plop down onto the soft cushion. I place my purse on the floor and mutter under my breath. Oh, you are so asking for it. Nico. I hear her whisper words loud and clear, and the only thing I'm thinking is, I may be asking for it, baby, but I guarantee you're going to be fucking begging for it. This tiny woman sitting in front of me is a fucking dragon. complete with flaming red hair, and I can think of nothing other than running my fingers through those long locks as she sucks me off. A few hours later, I'm still trying to concentrate on the work that needs to be done. I can't hold on to one clear thought without her sitting across from me taking notes. All I want to do is bend her over my desk, bury my cock inside her, and fuck her brains out until she begs me to stop. Or better yet, begs me not to stop. Fuck me. I get up out of my chair and leave the room, sprinting to the bathroom. I bust through the door and head to the nearest sink. Turning on the cold water, I cup my hands around the faucet and splash water on my face and neck. I repeat this process until my core temperature cools down and the burning desire in my groin subsides. I can finally breathe again. Phoenix is suffocating me, and she has no idea how distracting she is. The way she chewed my ass out this morning was something I was not expecting, and fuck if I wasn't turned on more than I already had been. I have to pull myself together. There is no way in hell I can last one more day in her presence if I keep thinking about how badly I want to fuck her. I glance at my reflection in the mirror. I look like a fucking mess. My hair is tousled, my eyes are bloodshot, and now the front of my shirt and tie are soaked. Shit. I rake my hands through my hair and straighten my wet tie. Pull yourself together. She's just a damn woman. Yeah, a woman who has now taken over every thought in my head and whose sweet scent fills my lungs, making me dizzy with need. Okay, I have to be honest with myself. Maybe I'm having all these feelings because I haven't had sex in 3 years. Oh, I've had plenty of offers. I'm just not interested in one night stands or looking for a woman who's only interested in my money. I'm too damn old for playing games. Damn me all to hell, this woman is putting my body and mind into a tailspin in the short time she's been here. I've worked with many women before, sat with them at meetings, went out for drinks, except not one of them ever made me feel the way she does with just one glance in my direction. I check my watch and realize I've been in the bathroom way too long and head back to my office. The door's ajar and I give it a little push, peering inside. Phoenix is sitting in the chair with her head down, writing notes on the pad. Her legs are crossed. I look down at her feet, and she has one heel planted on the floor and the other shoe is dangling from her pretty pink painted toe as she bobs her leg up and down, concentrating on what she's writing. Her legs are beautiful. Her creamy white skin looks phenomenal in the light pink dress she's wearing, and her hot pink heels are the sexiest things I've ever seen. A vision of her lying beneath me as I drive myself deep inside her wearing those shoes and only those shoes flashes before me. My cock stares and I quickly adjust myself. I can't control my body around her for 1 second. I'm going to have to learn to if she'll be working for me. Screwing my assistant would definitely not be good business sense. Her pink blazer hangs from the back of the chair. The thin strap of her dress is off her shoulder, exposing the beautiful skin I so desperately want to slide my fingers across. She places the pad on my desk and lifts her arms over her head, stretching her back. She pulls her hair together and twists it into a ponytail, lifting the long red strands away from her neck. She grabs the pad from the desk and fans herself with it. I am mesmerized and frozen in place as I watch the few tendrils of hair that escaped her ponytail glide across her neck with every flick of her wrist. I could stand here and watch her for the rest of my life. Every move she makes is so graceful, so dainty. It baffles me how someone so unrelenting can be so delicate at the same time. I lean on the door jamb, obvious of my surroundings as Gio walks up behind me. Hot, right? I snap my head in his direction, then quickly glance at Phoenix, who gasps. She grabs her jacket from the back of the chair and puts it on. She also puts her foot back in the shoe that was half off and straightens herself. Could I get any more embarrassed? Not likely. The fact that I was caught staring at her by Gio and Phoenix herself has me squirming. I clear my throat. What? I said it's hot, right? Gio repeats. I walk into the office with him following behind me. The central air must have gone out again. I'll call the repairman now and have him come fix it right away before we all roast like fucking marshmallows. He flashes me a knowing smile and winks at me. Yeah, you do that. I glare at him as I pick up the phone receiver, giving him a silent warning not to say anything else and overstep his boundaries in front of my new assistant. He knows me better than anyone, and I can pretty much bet he sees how much she turns me on, which irritates the shit out of me. Don't you have a file to work on? I say as the phone rings and I wait for someone to pick up on the other end. All done. After several rings, an answering machine picks up and the recorded message plays stating the whole office is on vacation. It's a family-owned business and very reliable. There's just no way I can wait a week for them to return. I bang the receiver back on the dock. Shit. What's the matter? They're closed. For how long? The whole damn week? I press the call button for Wendy and inform her to make some phone calls to get an emergency technician out here and fast. I also ask her to leave a message with the Frost Heating and Cooling to contact me when they get back from vacation to replace the whole system. Phoenix stands. I can do that. No, Wendy will do it, I insist. Really? Really? It's only a few phone calls. I think I can handle it. I said no. Wendy will take care of it. You're here to serve me. Gio and Phoenix give each other a quizzical look before she opens her mouth wide, clearly ready to hand me my balls again. I quickly recover and reword. Help me. She clamps her mouth shut, takes off her blazer, and angrily sits back down in the chair, causing her breast to bounce in the process. Her skin is turning pink, either from the rising temperature of the room or from her annoyance at me. Whatever the cause, the blush that creeps up her chest to her face is breathtaking, and I would give anything to see her whole body turn that color from my touch alone. Girls, I can't even remember the last time I blushed. Maybe a hot flash blush, but not a blush blush. Holy bum. Let's do this. There we go. Just keeps getting brighter, don't it? I remove my suit jacket, place it over the back of my chair, loosen my tie a bit, and undo the top button of my shirt before walking over to the window. I open the lock and attempt to pull it open, only it's stuck from being shut for so long. I yank and pull and yank some more until it slides so fast that it crashes into the frame. Pieces of glass fly everywhere, landing on the floor. You have got to be fucking kidding me. This day could not get any worse. I just stand there. I just fucking stand there. I squeeze my eyes shut and dig my thumb and forefinger in my eye sockets, willing this day to be over already. Both Gio and Phoenix come running over to me. Damn, bro, if you wanted some air, I would have opened the window for you. You didn't have to break it open like a beast. Please just get out and go back to your office. The two of you, please, just leave me alone for a while. I say calmly with my hand still over my eyes. Okay, I'll have maintenance come up and clean the mess. Just don't touch anything else until then. Jeez. The door slams and I'm expecting the office to be empty when I turn around. Damn, she's still here. I thought I told you to leave me alone. Yeah, well, we don't always get what we want, now do we? Sit down. I don't have time to sit. She goes around the desk and pulls the chair away from the glass on the floor. I press my lips together and to stifle a laugh as she struggles to move the heavy piece of furniture because it's bigger than she is. Sit. I step on the broken glass, crushing it into smaller pieces as I make my way over to where she's standing. Fine. Do you have a first aid kit? Bottom left drawer. She opens the drawer and pulls out the small white box, placing it on the desk. She grabs the gauze and antiseptic spray before turning to me. She looks around the floor, then around the room. What's the matter? I need to see it. Here. She puts the first aid supplies back in their box and arranges the papers on my desk in one neat pile. There, sit on the desk so I can sit in the chair. I arch my brow. You want me to sit on the desk? You do know I'm not helpless. I can clean my hand myself. Yes, and I'm sure you can tie your shoes like a good little boy and everything. Now get on the desk, big boy. Big boy? Do you think that may be a tiny bit inappropriate to call your boss? Not any more inappropriate than the boss calling his assistant little woman. Point taken. Where do you want me? She pauses and bites her bottom lip. Giving me a once-over, she clears her throat. Right there is fine. I sit on the desk, watching her pull the chair between my legs before she takes the supplies out of the box again. She takes my big hand in her small one. Being this close to her, I can see how tiny she really is compared to me. I can fit both her hands in one of mine. I stare at her hands for a long moment. I love how our skin looks together. The contrast of white and tan is breathtaking. She sprays the antiseptic on my hand and gently blows on it, relieving the sting. She fucking blows on my damn hand with her pink, pouty, shiny lips. The sugary scent of the gloss spread over her perfect mouth has me reeling with need. Her head is mere inches from my dick, and all I can think of is having those lips around me, sucking me into my beautiful mouth, into her beautiful mouth over and over again. She raises her head, peering up at me with those gorgeous honey-colored eyes of hers. She blinks slowly, fluttering her long red lashes, instantly turning me into putty in her hands. It's obvious I affect her as much as she affects me because her hands are trembling. Instinctively, I rub my thumb over the top of her hand. She quickly pulls away from me, throwing the bottle back into the box and fumbles with the latch to lock it closed. There, all fixed up. Hey. She glances at me before putting the kit back into the drawer. Yeah? Thank you. She smiles. You're welcome. Alrighty. What do you guys think? Does it sound like something you want to go get? It's free on KU, or you can get it for $2.99. Like I said, it's called Decadent Dreams by Nicole Garcia. I highly, highly recommend you read her stuff. She's got everything from, this one's normal. But she has paranormal. She has a shifter book out that came out at Christmas. She's got one about cupids, I think. Lord, I don't know. She's got all kinds of them. This one's my favorite. And let me tell you, it's got twists and turns. It's just going to make you go, ah! And then you're just going to go, ah. I may have even cried in this one, y'all. I can't remember. That's how good she is. So, highly, highly recommend you go get it and read it. Decadent Dreams by Nicole Garcia. So, all right, y'all. Enjoy. Thank you for joining me tonight for my little surprise. And I will talk to you guys later. Nicole, thank you so much for letting me read your book. I so appreciate it. All right, everybody. Have a good evening and happy reading.